Hi guys, it's Harry from HTL Finance and welcome back to yet another video. It's the start of the new year, thought I'd kick something off, rebrand the channel, take it in a new direction. Let's see where this takes us. So the topic today is Trading 212, big trading platform in the UK especially, and it's been my primary trading platform for the last, I think, nearly about 9 months. And that has been me first getting into trading as a beginner, never having used any platform previously. While they are primarily a trading platform, I think the most interesting thing that they offer currently is their interest on cash balances. For GBP, they currently offer 4.9%. This was previously over 5% up until a few months ago. And the Bank of England base rate currently, as of filming this, is 4.75%. On top of that, there is no limits, no minimums or maximums to the amount that you can save in this way. Interest is paid daily, which is again another thing that's very surprising, and it's instant access. There's no required holding periods or anything. So this is very, very competitive overall platform and offering from Trading 212. While I'm talking here, we'll be going through some things I've got on my iPad. So here, as I say, Bank of England interest rates are currently at 4.75, and as it says here, inflation is 2.5% currently with the CPI rate. So this is a good inflation hedge as well, potentially, so for you. And if we go onto the Trading 212 website, we can see 4.9% on GBP, 3.4% on euros, 4.1% on USD, etc. You can also get up to 7% if you're willing to go through foreign exchange, unless you hold the Hungarian currency as your sort of primary currency. Look at the website. The one thing it does say here is if you enable interest, we will hold your cash in qualifying money market funds and banks. And what I wanted to do today was focus on this and show you what this has looked like from someone who has held their cash with Trading 212 in this method for the last 9 months. What issues have I had? What positives and negatives are there? Because I think a lot of people are slightly apprehensive because the package is so good, thinking that there must be drawbacks to this. I also want to say this is not investment advice, and I'm in no way affiliated with Trading 212 in any way. So I'm into Trading 212 on my iPad, and I think this may be a video that I do separately. So if anyone wants to see a review of the iPad app and to go through more of the functionality, I'm happy to do that. In your Trading 212, you'll see, if you go to your sort of settings menu, the hamburger menu at the top, you'll see interest on shares, which we're not discussing today, and interest on cash. If you click on interest on cash, you get your options. So it shows you the different rates at the top, which you can, utilize any of them if you're willing to, go through having foreign FX risk or exchange risk. You see your earnings for the last month, earnings from all time and current stats. So currently I have about £12,500 in this method, 4.9% interest rate on that, which is has been static for the last probably 3 months or so. And if I look at my payments, we can see that the cash balances I hold are primarily pretty steady, and we can see that going back months and months, I've slowly put more and more into the account as I've trusted it more and saved more money essentially. We can see that it is very, very static. I've not had any issues with, not lost any money or any issues with volatility and the interest rate. It is static, and it is something that is paid daily. Something with QMMFs, because they are essentially a security, there is a very, very small risk of illiquidity and things like that, and are low risk already, but Q is qualifying, which basically means that they're regulated, which further illustrates this. I've seen a good statistic about that during the 2008 financial crisis, obviously a massive period of volatility, that these instruments were unaffected, and that I think another quote that I'd seen is that if the QMFs are defaulting, there are much more significant issues in the economy than just your finances. It would mean that there's pretty much total financial collapse at that point for you to lose all of your money via this way. When you click on payments, it gives you your payment time, which is daily, your withholding tax, etc. With this is think about the tax implications of this, as this will be taxed as income and not as dividend income. This will depending on tax rates and tax systems. These are not treated as dividends when you're doing your tax return, so may technically will have the same implications I would expect on your taxes as a savings account would, which is either a good or a bad thing depending on where you are tax registered and tax domiciled. So you can offer the rates that they do, is that QMFs currently are getting slightly over 5%, the GBP ones anyway. And what Trading 212 essentially do is take about 10% off the top of what you could receive if you'd done this method manually, bought the investment yourself. They just take about a 10% essentially management fee for doing this, and you get the remaining amount. I think through that way it works quite well for both parties. I know personally I much prefer this method of just putting money in my Trading 212, clicking an on button that you have to do. This isn't done by default. It gives you all the risks, and then you get this rate. It's a lot easier than having to manually think, I need to go and buy this or sell this, as you need to take money in and out of your account. You just know that sort of Trading 212 handles this for you. Button on the top left here or top right, it's gone through all the things that I've said. It does give you some important considerations, which is good. Management risk, liquidity risk. There are no percentages or no statistics around this, which makes it quite hard for people to quantify, which is why I want to sit here and vouch that it has been, for me anyway, it has been something that I've not had any issues with. Just on cash again, the other interesting thing is if we go down, we can obviously deposit funds, which you don't have to do separately in the app. You just deposit into Trading 212 and then it adds to this. It's not something you have to move within the app. Interesting thing at the bottom here is it says how we hold your GBP, JP Morgan, Barclays, NatWest. So I have about 20% in banks, and then the rest, or about 23% and 77% in QMMFs. So the whole amount isn't necessarily held in QMMFs, but it does give you a breakdown of that. And initially, for the first couple of months that I had this, it was 100% in QMMFs, and then I've seen recently this change to this will not be backed by the FSCS 85k sort of protection scheme for end users if they're held outside of a ISA account. Trading 212 do offer ISAs and offer this rate as part of that. I live in Jersey, so I'm not able to use that method. But if you're also someone that cannot get an ISA, whereas an ISA would be preferable, if you're not able to do that, you do lose that protection. Though I do think with Trading 212 being regulated by the FCA, with the amount of money they have under management, and just general what I see within forums and things, I've done my research prior to using them, I don't think there should be really any great risk of using this. And for me, as a very risk-averse investor, this is a big thing for me. I like to hold quite a lot of cash, and would like to get 5% or steady inflation hedge. So for me, this works perfectly. If you're more risk tolerant, you may think that you can go and invest it in bonds, for example, or some low risk ETF, should you want to achieve maybe between 5 and 10%, sort of in line with the S&P 500's sort of annual average, if you want slightly more risk than this. But as I say, this is very low volatility, which is perfect. And yeah, as I say, this is not investing advice. Is that receive an email from Trading 212 probably 2 to 3 months ago now that said that what they'll be doing is not paying interest to people that don't actively invest using Trading 212. So what this means is that they expect you to make live trades, some trades, through into bonds or stocks or ETFs or whatever it is that you want, to be able to get this interest, which I think is basically trying to deter people from using this purely as a sort of savings account, which I think you can do to some degree. Since having that email, I've always received the interest. I probably make between 3 and 4 trades per month, and I do not make large trades out of usually around about 80 or 90% of my money in cash. I think the 4.9% is a very good thing that Trading 212 are doing. And while I'll probably do some more in-depth reviews of Trading 212 as a platform, I have no real issues with the specific account that they offer, the rates that they give, or the platform itself. I can't really fault them as an overall service. Well, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please like, please subscribe. There'll be more content coming, a bit different to what I used to do, but I really think a finance-focused channel aligns with my interests, and I think I can help a lot of people. So if you have any specific wants in terms of videos, please put them in the comments, or any comments about this channel. This is not the best content that it will be, but obviously I strive to improve it. But all engagement is really appreciated. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.